Thanks for listening to the NVTV podcast, produced by Neuqua Media.
Welcome to this episode of the NVTV podcast. I'm Anka Shandok. On today's show, we're going to learn a little bit more about Neuqua's swim and dive team. Joining me today is Ariana, Alexa, and Ava. Thank you for being here today, guys.
Thanks for
having
us.
I'd like to start off by talking about the level of difficulty that goes into this sport. It's not one of Neuqua's most well-known sports. It doesn't have the largest audience, but would you guys say that it's pretty difficult and it's often overlooked as a school sport?
Yes, I would say so. We all have morning practice every day except for Wednesday, so it's definitely a lot of commitment, but it's nice, getting to bond with our team because of how much practice we have as a result.
Yeah, I feel like we're definitely together a lot, and we put a lot of work into the season, and, no matter the audience, I think we all, still try our best.
Do you guys have a favorite stroke to perform?
I like to swim backstroke just because it's, relaxing and stuff.
My favorite event is IM, and IM's basically all the strokes combined, butterfly, backstroke, rest, free. And I think that's really fun because it just it allows me to swim everything, and I also get to train everything then.
Yeah, I also like IM the best, but unfortunately I'm a distance swimmer, so I do have to swim very long races, but I'm still good at it and I enjoy doing it, but I like IM better.
Okay, so it sounds like there's a lot of different options that go into the sport, different strokes. And then, so IM, that's a group thing, or is that one person doing multiple strokes?
IM, there's individual and relays, and that applies for other events too. There's the 200 free individual and relay, and a relay is basically as given, 4 people swim that, but an individual is just you're swimming all 4 alone.
Gotcha. Now, you mentioned how swim has a lot of morning practices, and a lot of other sports don't. How many swim morning practices do you guys have?
Well, I'm on varsity, so I have 2 morning swim practices, and then 2 of the mornings we lift. But for them, it's different.
Yeah, for us, we have 4 morning practices of lifting, and then 2 of them are more cardio-based, and 1 of them is more yoga. Yeah.
Okay, so Ava, you mentioned being on varsity. Ariana and Alexa, what team are you guys on?
We're on the higher JV team.
It's called NV Gold.
NV Gold, okay. And is there an NV Blue?
Yes.
All right, so is that basically just NV Blue is a little bit more geared towards freshmen and sophomores, and then it kind of progresses, or is it pretty spread out based on grade levels and difficulty?
I'd say it's definitely spread out. There's people at all grades. It's more of a lower level, so they don't do as much practicing and stuff.
Yeah, I feel swim, the main difference between our sport and a lot of other sports is that we do not have freshman, sophomore teams. We just have 3 main teams, and they're really skill-based. If you're a freshman and you perform really well, you can move up to gold or you can move up to varsity, but really classes and seniority doesn't apply.
Okay, so you guys are all juniors, so when you guys were freshmen, you were kind of just thrown onto a team with some upperclassmen. Was that pretty nerve-wracking? Was it hard?
It was definitely scary at first, but once you got to know them, it was pretty fun.
Yeah, I feel the community, we do it very well, especially I've heard, on JV, the seniors are very welcoming and very good at making you, be ready, and, the coaches also do a good job. We do a good amount of team building, but I feel varsity also does a lot of team building.
I feel the seniors also were super open from the beginning, and I feel that was really welcoming instead of being you should be scared of the seniors it's their last year. They were super welcoming, and it was really great to just have that right away.
Oh, that's awesome. I love when sports have traditions. So you guys mentioned the seniors. Do you do anything special to celebrate them?
Yeah, we do senior night, which actually just happened. It was super sad, but it was super fun to see that how much have they've grown, especially since some of them have been doing it since they were so young. And most of us also do senior gifts, which we all do as a team for the underclassmen and the juniors as well.
So what are senior gifts?
Usually the rest of the group minus the seniors will make their own gift with a picture or something, or just something that the team will remember for and kind of just get them something. Maybe to even prepare for college, stuff for their dorm and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think something special about the like senior gifts is it is very junior led, but every class does it, and my favorite part of it is that we all individually write letters to the seniors and we give them all on senior gift night. And I think it's just really sweet because at the beginning of the year, seniors write letters to freshmen as like tips and tricks and like what they're expecting in the season. So I think it's nice like full circle moment when at the end of the year all seniors get letters by all the team just like thanking them and saying like they're gonna miss them.
Oh, gotcha. So that's got to be exciting for next year for you guys all, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Would you guys like to take a look on what an average day of practice is like for you?
An average day of practice is like waking up around 5 and getting to the pool at, I'd say, around 5:30. Then we do our lifting, and that goes until like 6:45. Then we go to school, and then we come back to the pool, and we have a 2.5 hour practice, and that like consists of many different things, like distance, IM, stroke work, drilling, and then yeah.
That sounds like a pretty jam-packed day. Is it hard to manage time between school, sports, and any personal activities you guys might have?
I think the like biggest challenge, at least I think all around for all the swimmers, is that swimming is very like intense and you get very tired very quickly. So on top of like balancing school, you also have to balance injuries, and we've seen that a lot this season. And I think this year, especially the JV coaches have tried to take an initiative, and we stretch every day before practice to try to prevent these like injuries from becoming bigger things.
Yeah, you mentioned how intense of an activity it is. I feel like a lot of times when people think of cardio, they think of running and not what you guys have to do inside of a pool, which honestly, in my opinion, just makes it 10 times harder. I want to talk a little bit. I heard you guys had a meet last Friday. Is that correct?
Yes.
How do you guys think that went, just for Neuqua in general?
Last Friday, I don't even remember.
We did win.
That was
so
Naperville North.
Yeah, we won.
Oh, Naperville North, yeah.
And I think the team spirit was really high.
Yeah, it was one of our final. We had a meet Friday and Saturdays, and that was our 2 final meets before DVC, which is our conference. And so I feel like our team morale was very up, and everyone was hopefully either trying to drop their time, so getting faster, and yeah, spirits were high.
Everyone was just trying to do good one last time before the big day.
So when does your season end then?
It varies. So for our conference, that's the last weekend in October, and then sectionals is 2 weeks after, and then state is the week after sectionals. So it can be October or like mid-November, depending on when your season ends.
That's exciting. I just want to talk about, can you guys tell me a little bit about the different strokes? Like, what is butterfly specifically?
I feel like butterfly, like everyone's taken sophomore swim if you're a sophomore now. It's not really taught in that class. It's kind of hard to explain, but you do like underwater kicks, so you're doing like both your legs together. And then, I mean, people say it's the most challenging stroke, and I think it is also, but I don't know. Every stroke has their pros and cons.
Backstroke, you're obviously on your back, and you also do the underwater kicks. You do the same, you do dolphin kick underwater, and then when you're above water, you do a flutter kick. But yeah.
And then breaststroke is a little bit more complicated. You do like an underwater pullout. It's kind of hard to explain. And then you breathe every stroke on breaststroke. So some people like it a lot, but I think it can still be hard even if you're breathing every stroke.
Yeah, last stroke I feel like is a given. A lot of people know what freestyle is. You learn it also in sophomore swim, and it's just the basic stroke.
All right, so you guys have mentioned sophomore swim a couple times, and being juniors, I'm assuming we've all gone through it. Would you guys say how swim was portrayed in sophomore swim even relates to what you guys have to do in typical practice?
No, not at
Yeah,
all.
I think a common like misconception. A lot of people like non-swimmers go into sophomore swim and it's like, wow, this is super fun, and like it is, and it gives very like good fundamentals of like what swimming is. But when you start competitive swimming, it is a lot more intense and is a lot different than learning just like with your peers. But I think both are very enjoyable, and you can get like the gist of it.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for coming. I want to give a special thanks to Alexa, Ava, and Ariana for joining us today on the NVTV podcast. The NVTV podcast is produced by media students at Neuqua Valley High School Enjoy the rest of your day, guys.